Hey, it's Cool Cleveland correspondent Carol Drummond. I'm here at Tri-C, and I'm talking with Daniel Bernard Roumain, otherwise known as DBR, and he is doing a collaborative project with the local musicians from Tri-C, faculty, students, on a huge collaborative project that will take years to come about. And he's also having a performance in town, and we're going to tell you all about it. So, hey.
Hey.
Thanks for spending some time with me. This is great.
Good to be back.
So now let's see, you're Haitian born, and you're raised in Florida.
Yes.
And now you live in New York City.
That's right.
So it sounds like your life is kind of the inspiration in a way for how you pull together composing and classical violin performance with dance and with photography and with theater, and also pulling it into different genres. Tell us a little bit about what inspired you to go outside of classical violin with your instrument. It makes me think of Bela Fleck.
Sure. And the fleck tones.
There you go, taking his instrument out of its traditional genre into a new one.
No, Bela Fleck is a good place to start, in the fleck tones and the Wooten brothers and Mark O'Connor. And actually, these are friends of mine. I went to Vanderbilt University and in Nashville.
Really?
And kind of met these really wonderful musicians, Edgar Meyer as well as part of that camp. And I actually went on tour with Mark O'Connor, who's good friends with Bela. But like Mark, actually, I started playing the violin when I was 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
And took lessons. And after a while, the lessons led to other lessons, you know. Lessons from Prince and Jimi Hendrix and MTV. And
You're kidding.
no, just wanting my violin to sound like those instruments and those musicians.
So how did you gain access to those musicians? I mean,
Just watching them on television.
okay, I see.
And trying, you know, like any precocious 10-year-old,
Right.
trying to be a rock star and copying them. And
Learn from the masters.
learn from the masters. But I only had a violin, so I had to
Okay.
figure out a way to make my violin sound like a guitar, sound like a drum, sound like other instruments. And, you know, always had training, but expanded the boundaries of that training, just to include other people and other conversations. And the same thing as a composer. I think that for me, as much training as I've had as a composer, I certainly include my work with DJs and electronic musicians, a lot of rock artists, tap dancers like Savion Glover, filmmakers, photographers like Jonathan Mannion. And, you know, it's an eclectic world, and I think Tri-C represents that well.
So that's a great segue, Tri-C. So tell me a little bit about your residency here. What's that all about?
Well, Tri-C was one of a very few universities and colleges to receive a very prestigious grant given out by the Association of Performing Arts Presenters, better known as APAP. And it's a grant that I think originates from the NEA, National Endowment for the Arts.
Okay.
It's very competitive, and it allows for an organization to work intensely with an artist on a project, multi-year project, that is specific towards connecting a campus or a creative environment with a community, a local community. And Tri-C got one. We applied together.
Okay.
And the project centered on the Epic of Gilgamesh, and hence we have something called Project Gilgamesh.
Okay, and what exactly is Project Gilgamesh? Tell me a little bit more about the goal or the work.
Yeah, well, it's based on the story, the ancient story, perhaps the first kind of ancient story, if you will.
Okay.
And the Project Gilgamesh is a songbook that's derived not only from that story, but from the stories of Tri-C students and faculty that we've combined into lyrics.
Okay.
And I'm taking those lyrics, taking those words, a libretto, a wonderful libretto by Margaret Lynch, and I've set them to music. A series of songs. It's probably going to be about 15 once we're done. And these are pop rock songs, if you will, that we're recording here in Tri-C's fabulous state-of-the-art studios with Tri-C musicians and a lot of young musicians, a lot of young local artists, a few teenagers even. And the songbook and the recording are both going to be mounted at projectgilgamesh.com.
Okay.
And available to everyone.
So when is that? It sounds like it's a process. So is it in place yet, or when will it be in place or completed?
Well, the website is live.
Okay.
And it's evolving. So in just a few weeks, we're going to have the songbook available to people, the actual notes.
Okay.
And then in a few more weeks, we'll have the actual recordings of the songs available so people can hear what the songs sound like.
So the project is going to continue for a couple years, is that
Yes.
right? But you're already putting pieces of it in place, but it won't be complete until a few years?
Well,
or
the
how
most
does it-
exciting part of the project is that people can do their own versions of the songs and mount them.
So it's
to-
like a public,
Totally.
publicly accessible and usable
That's right.
toy box kind
That's
of thing.
right.
They can reach in and pick the
That's
box
right.
they want to play with.
That's right. And it gets
Okay.
even better because the best versions of the songs, and that is the versions that we feel are the most worthy and appealing and interesting, we're going to contact those artists and they're going to be invited to perform their songs on 2 concerts that Tri-C is going to professionally produce, which is very exciting. I'm going to host, and it's great. If you're a rock band, if you're a singer, if you're a singer-songwriter, if you're a dancer, if you're a visual artist, however you want to interpret the songs, you can mount your video to our website, and then we'll present it to the community. It's going to be great.
So it's even collaborative in the creation, but then also in the use.
That's right.
Yes,
That's
of
right.
people actually using it. So I also want to talk about, you're going to be in town now for Symphony for the Dance Floor,
Oh,
October
yeah.
21st and 22nd. What
Yeah.
is that about? You just keep
Well,
going. What's
yeah.
that about?
Well, the great thing about Tri-C and our relationship is that they're really interested in all the work that I'm doing.
Okay.
Last year I did a concert that Cool Cleveland covered that was called Woodbox Beats and Balladry.
Okay.
And it was me and a DJ in a very small studio space. This year I'm bringing a larger piece called Symphony for the Dance Floor.
Okay.
It involves me and a DJ, about 5 dancers and a photographer. And it's a really fun evening of dance, photography, video, you name it.
Okay.
As we're going to have a large facet of the audience sitting on stage,
Okay.
right in the middle of the performance.
So
We
you
have-
had to get them involved too.
Absolutely,
Yeah?
absolutely.
You're
And
just always
oftentimes,
pulling all these pieces in.
yeah, and the concert has often turned into a large-scale kind of dance party, quite frankly.
Wow.
We've been doing the piece now since February. The piece is on tour. Tri-C
Okay.
is part of the tour. And it's really wonderful because it's just another facet of my work that the Cleveland community and the Tri-C community has really embraced. Yeah.
It sounds like collaboration is what everything you do is about, pulling in disparate
Yeah.
pieces and
Yeah.
making it
I think
cohesive.
I think it's fun. I think it's all about having a conversation, and I think that, you know, I'm really wanting to dance. I mean, I've always been actively involved in playing the violin in a very kind of aggressive way, if you will, and I've always wanted to work with dancers and make a spectacle, if you will, and to do it in a way that's professional and substantive. So this is a stretch for me. You know, I'm having to learn choreography. I'm having to move in a specific way at a specific time.
So as you're playing, you're also
Yes.
moving. So
I'm
you've
playing
got
the
a
whole time, yeah.
Wow, a whole lot to think about.
It is, it
in
is.
the course of the performance.
It is.
Yeah.
But I see this as, it's 2011, and I kind of feel like, this is what composers really need to be doing. They need to be deeply involved in their work. At least I feel that way. And Symphony for the Dance Floor is very much related to Project Gilgamesh in that it's about pop music, it's about rock music, it's about big, bold, loud sounds. It's about the audience participating,
Yes.
And Symphony for the Dance Floor is wonderful because people can come, they can sit on stage right next to me and just watch and listen. If the person next to them wants to get up and dance and join the show, please do it. And Project Gilgamesh operates the same way. We've taken this epic, we've made these lyrics that are now turning into pop songs. If people love the songs enough, they can do their own renditions, post them on our YouTube page that you can access through our website. And the ones that are most appealing, we're going to have those people come out and we want to present them in a professional
Bring
concert.
them into the
Absolutely.
performance as well, or the
That's right.
creation of it as well.
And I have to say, this is a really wonderful opportunity for local artists, not only on the Tri-C campus, but in Cleveland. Because Tri-C is a professional, as you know, professional presenting organization. They bring in big acts all the time.
Yes.
And they're committed to really finding people here in Cleveland who want to be a part of this project in a very unique way. And I love it because I'm just hosting. I'm not performing on those shows, and that's actually really important because I think I know that there are many talented people here in Cleveland who just want an opportunity to show what they can do. So this is it, and I hope they'll I hope they'll come out and be a part of our family.
So they can find out about the event?
Yes.
And how can they find out about, is there a website?
Yes.
Okay.
All the information is on Project Gilgamesh. That's Project Gilgamesh, Gilgamesh.
Okay.
All one word, .com. I remember it. I think about Project Runway. That's just me.
There you go.
So,
Yes,
ProjectGilgamesh.com. All the information is there, including the
Okay.
downloading material, how to upload material, so on and so
The
forth.
event info as well?
The event info,
Okay.
phone numbers, you name it.
Great, it's all in one place, so we'll have to go there and find out what that's all about. Well, this has been
Absolutely.
really exciting. It's exciting
you.
for this region. It's exciting for all these different art forms coming together. Great to meet you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Pleasure. Pleasure.
This is Cool Cleveland correspondent Carol Drummond. Have a great week in Cool Cleveland.